Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dalton. This is Arms and Farms, Footlong Farming YouTube channel. Today, another day of odds and ends. You guys are dirty. Really dirty. Or maybe it's just the glasses I'm looking through. Not totally sure. To start off the day, let me show you what we got. Cutting edge on our manure skid steer bucket is spanked. So we're going to go down through, torch all the bolts off. I don't think I've got a new one out in the shop, but we will go look. If we do, we'll put it on. If not, we got to make a trip down to Jordan Swedes, and we'll pick a new one up there. And another one of our skid steer buckets, the cutting edge is almost shot, but I believe it hasn't been flipped yet. So if that's the case, we'll flip it. If not, we'll get one for that too. All right, the old cutting edge is cut off, so we gotta get a measurement. Looks like bolts are 8" on center. So 8" on center, 7 foot. Always be sure to write this stuff down because you get to the dealership and you forget. 8" center, 7 foot long. Good deal. All right, we can head out here and we'll see what we got. Like I said, I don't think we've got the right ones, but I think there's some pieces of cutting edge, but well, there's a couple back there that look like they're gotta reorganize this building here at some point this winter. It's kind of so full I can't get to spots. Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I got 3 here that are 6" centers that are covered in raccoon turds. I don't know what they go to, but they don't go to this bucket. I'll have to look at the other buckets because we've got 3 of those sitting there, but yeah, we don't have the one I need. So on my potential request winter project list, I wouldn't mind making a really big pallet rack for a machine grind, so I can stack these pallets up in an organized fashion, because each one of them has parts for different implements, like your cold packer. That's like duals and stuff like that. It's got chisel points in it, and I think the field cultivator. It's just hoses and pipe fittings and ripper. You know, I just gotta get an organized way to put all this stuff. So we'll take a ride down to Jordan Swedes. Look around on their lot too. Why not? See what they got. Been having a lot of new seed salesmen stop in. It's that time of year. We generally get our corn seed ordered before the first of the year. Usually you get discounts, pretty significant discounts if you buy and pay for your corn seed ahead of time. But a rumor on the street, I guess BMR corn silage is not a thing anymore. Apparently, really the only demand for it's in the Northeast. Not a lot of dairies out west planted, I guess. A lot of dairies in the Northeast do. We do not. We have always been just conventional corn silage. There are advantages to BMR corn. I just prefer the starch levels of conventional corn, and everyone at the farm has kind of thought the same thing. Also, for me, one of the big things, I have worked at farms who plant just BMR, and my first year there, they got real bad blight on the corn, and then we got real heavy winds, and I mean we had like 3,000 acres of flat corn. BMR's standability, is that the word, is not near what conventional corn is. So you get a hard wind or hard rain and it tends to go flat, which leads to mold, which leads to corn drying down dead or earlier, which also leads to incredibly frustrated chopper operators and truck drivers for that matter, because the corn heads are plugging and you gotta, I remember there were fields we had to chop in one direction fields, we had to chop cross lots against the rows to try to get the corn picked up. So for those reasons, we've just never done it. Also, I realize you can get the yields from BMR that you get from conventional. It's just not as easy. It's more rare. And again, the big ears on conventional corn, we've always kind of liked, but I found it interesting. I guess Brevant is just going to take that BMR technology and just stick it in their back pocket for now. I guess that's what I'm hearing. But yeah, it's kind of funny. There's a lot of seed salesmen that are starting to show up that we haven't seen before because, you know, they know that a lot of dairies in the Northeast plant BMR, and now that they don't have BMR, they see an opportunity there, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we've always been conventional corn anyways. A lot of times dual purpose because we have combined corn up until this year. We've always combined corn, so we've planted a lot of dual purpose corn. We plant primarily probably 2/3 to 3/4 decob corn. And usually we get a tote of FS, a tote of Brevant. That's kind of what we've done in the past. We'll see how that works out this year. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys can confirm about the BMR corn, and if there's any more reasonings behind it as to why they just decided to shut it down like that. It's kind of interesting. I got a call from Jack. Something sheared the pins on this alley scraper. So we're gonna try getting new shear pins in and see if we can figure out what the problem was. We're gonna run her. Pretty close. I can just use the belt. Spin it back where it needs to go here. Right about there, I think. Whoopsie daisies. It's windy. That door. Prop you guys up here. So what happened is the cable on the spool somehow got shifted over, so there's no room for the incoming cable to come, and it's currently too tight to move to where it needs to go. So I am gonna loosen up this side. So the way this works, these are two separate cables. One comes in the sled from one direction, one comes out. And I didn't bring the wrench to take that cover off, but I'm gonna loosen up that side, so loosen up the cable, and once the cable's loosened up, we can get that adjusted over. All right, it's loosened up. So I just put this big wrench on that head there, and then there's a latch with a gear. So the latch is up, so the tension's off that cable. You're in heat, aren't you, sweetheart? Oh, she's in heat. We'll see if that worked. All right, once that was loosened, we were able to move it right back where it's supposed to be, and seems to be going the way it's supposed to be now. All right, run up to the parlor, wash the manure off my boots, and we now have to go to Batavia. George and Sweet did not have the cutting edge, and neither did Kelly's. It's an HLA bucket. Kelly's kind of swapped over to Bobcat buckets. And yeah, all they had down to George and Sweet's was 6-inch centers, not 8-inch centers. So run up to Cummins and Brigger. They're more of a distributor. So like for parts and stuff, you usually got to go through dealers. In this case, Kelly's called up here and put it on hold for me. So rather than them coming up and grabbing it, I'm just swinging up and grabbing it myself. I believe it's right in here somewhere. I see Cummins and Bricker trailer. So we will see. Where exactly? I'm assuming right here. That says wrong way though, so. Yep, this is it. We're in the right spot at least. I'll spin around. They got all kinds of stuff. Rock buckets, bush hogs. Looks like some round bale wagons over here. But like I said, they're more of a distributor, not so much a dealer. So when you buy stuff, you don't buy it through them. You buy it through dealerships, obviously. So, yeah. We'll go see what this place is all about here. All right, well, we got what we needed to get. Now we can make our way back. It is 11:30. I'm gonna stop and pick up a pizza, some wings. A bunch of us are gonna go up to our bin site and we're gonna sight in the rifles. Got, you know, Saturday morning is opening day, so gotta get the dust wiped off of them, make sure they're dialed in.
Drop my phone. He hears me drop it. He's not that far from me. So
Miss.
he shoots at her. But I'm thinking that she ran toward
Miss.
him. I couldn't find her.
Alright, we came out and checked out the targets. 100 yards and 200 yards. We're all within 6-8 inches. There's probably 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts up here, so good enough. We'll kill something. Time to get back to work, I guess. Nice sunny day, though. I mean, it's got clouds, but that wind does kind of bite, too. On to the next thing. That's what she's supposed to look like right there. So, big hell yeah there. Pick this stuff up, and then I think we're gonna go clean one of our heifer barns. All right, we're up here at the Wallace barn, we call it. We bring up about 35 heifers. Probably 3 different times a year we swap them out. They come up at about 7-8 months old, and we bring them home when they're breeding age. So, you know, right around 13 months, they'll come home. So not all of our heifers come to this barn in their lifetime. Like, I'd say only 10 to 15% of them actually end up here, but we keep using it because the 10 to 15% that we bring here always do excellent. They just put on their winter coat and they just do well up here. And you could see the farm. If this wall wasn't here, you'd see the farm down there. We're about a mile from home. Just 2 rows of stalls in this barn. We bring up some straw once or twice a week and shake up in there. We'll do that before we leave here as well. So they get in there under cover, and we pull right off of the road up there. And it's kind of a J-bunk, so the truck sets, truck sets up here and just dumps down into a pit. About 1,000, 1,200 pounds a day. And they got free choice hay up here as well. You can see I just pitched the silage out of that feed bunk. We do that every time we come up here and clean. We clean this barn once every 2 weeks probably. There's enough real estate here and just few enough animals, and they're smaller animals to begin with, that it's usually about 2 slinger loads we get. The skid steer will fit in there just, like height wise, it is just, but it does fit. A lot of history in this barn. So the farm just acquired this barn, and there's a house across the road, and then the land here below us down, there's a creek. You can kind of see the weeds that separate it. Kind of if you draw a straight line from that cemetery barn there up, this used to all be rented. That's the Wallace Flat, and then I think there's 64 acres here. But I would love to talk with Donnie Wallace. Every time I talk to him, I get another little snippet of history from this barn. But it's just a really nice old barn. I think even if we built a barn and didn't need to use it, we would find a use for this. We'd still bring a group of heifers up, or maybe we bring up some show heifers, or maybe we raise some Angus and bring them up here, because they just always do so well. And it's such minimal time and effort, really. The barn's pretty self-sufficient. Okay, let's see with the slinger, so I better quit jabbering and hop in the skid loader and get them loaded up. But yeah, just a really great old barn. The animals love being out in the fresh air, getting to see the traffic go by. They got a heck of a view from here, and they always do well. So yeah, get back to work here. All right, barn's clean, all bedded up. Ladies are up eating. Job well done. All right, we just hopped in the service truck here. There's a broken pipe by a stall loop down by our pump room. It's been broken for quite a while. We're gonna weld it up here. I think Tyler dropped off. We had some cut-off pipes from the new barn that they installed that we didn't need, so they cut them off. I'm not sure if that'll fit, or if the old pipe is down there somewhere. We'll go do a little investigation here. Get her welded up. I'm hoping I can, maybe I shouldn't even try it. The best place for the welder would be if I backed up the lawn by the pump room, but I'm gonna try it. Hopefully I don't rut things up too bad here. Of course, there's a cone there telling me not to do it. I'll do it anyways. No harm done there. Let's go see what we got. So here's where the pipe is supposed to go. I don't see it sitting around here anywhere. Maybe it's that pipe there. No, that's way too short. I could cut that big long one. I'll have to run up and get the cutoff. I thought maybe Tyler brought her down, but I don't see it. Grabbed what I was looking for. Hopefully it's the right size. Well, there you have it. It's not the most professional welding job, but it'll work. Yeah. I mean, that was a lot of force right there. It didn't budge, so I think we're set. We will shut the welder off, get the leads rolled back up. It is now raining. Yippee. All right, little after 5, we are headed home. Got 102.3 on the radio. 24-hour Christmas music. Let's frickin' go. It's the time of year. You get a little chilly. You get your truck. It's nice and warm. I'm a big Christmas music guy. Never used to be, but am now. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Okay.